what better way to celebrate the birthday? Starting off the morning, talk about some sports, baby. So I'm gonna skim through the Saturday games because I felt like I said the Saturday games were kind of automatically you knew, except for the Houston Texans game. I did pick the Texans, but anyway, let's start with the Miami uh, and Kansas City game. I expected Kansas City to take care of business, especially having a team like Miami traveling over there to the cold, and then their past history of just not being able to beat good teams at all, and whipping other teams' ass, but not when it comes to playoff championship contending teams. That's why the Bills won the division. So this high powered offense only put up 7 points against Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, what else more is there to say? Kansas City had 26. You know, Patrick Mahomes doing Patrick Mahomes things. Miami did have a lot of injuries coming into this game, so I'll give them that. But at the end of the day, like if you want to compete with these good top five teams, these Super Bowl contending teams, you got to beat them, which they never do. They never had. Tua's a good quarterback, had a great ass season, but at the end of the day, he's not on the level of Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. Maybe next year, can he try and go over that hump? Because we saw CJ Stroud just do it in his rookie year. He's on that level. But yeah, this Kansas City took care of business, and that's it. Now we're gonna go to the Houston Cleveland game. Now I picked, if you see the last divisional live I did, I picked Houston to win. I just didn't know what Cleveland was. I didn't know what they weren't that good ever since when Nick Chubb was out with running. They were a pass heavy team. Like I just didn't know what they were with Joe Flacco. But to have Houston demolish them like that, especially when you're a top defense, top three, arguably maybe the number one defense this year, and to have a rookie CJ Stroud have 3 touchdowns or pretty much the stat he had by the first half is incredible. I believe he is on the Joe Burrow level. He is on that level of like those rookie guys, like the Russell Wilsons, even Patrick Mahomes playing his second year when he just instantly came in and turned that whole organization around. So take note of that for other NFL teams that are trying to do that. But CJ Stroud's a real deal. Even with injuries to the wide receivers and then drafting Will Anderson too is an absolute beast. They just look great. That was a great showing for a young team. So Houston, the thing about Houston too is man, they can be scary and give Baltimore a run for their money. I will probably take Baltimore, and by the way, Baltimore is my Super Bowl pick. But I can see Houston giving them trouble because they are absolutely for real. They are here to stay. Like the coaching and just that whole culture shift. 45-14, just wow. Joe Flacco, I expect him to be gone. I don't know if he's coming back. Deshaun Watson should be the quarterback still. Who knows? Would have Deshaun, I'm messing up my words. Would Deshaun Watson make a difference? You guys let me know. But like he said, Houston whipped that ass. Then we'll go to the other ass whipping game, which would be Green Bay and Dallas. I had Dallas, and I had them covering with the 7 points for the a touchdown pretty much. And they do what Dallas does best, which is not show up when they need to show up and choke. Every year it's been the same since at least I've been around watching football in the Tony Romo days. A little bit of that was the same shit, choking after choking. And Dallas is once again eliminated in the first round. I expect major changes in Dallas. I don't know if Mike McCarthy's gonna be there, and they're gonna go after Bill Belichick. Like I just do not know. But Dallas has a lot to answer. Just that whole they just look, that vibe was not there. That CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott vibe just wasn't there. That pick six was like a heartbreaker. I know the stats show that he threw for 400 yards, 3 TDs, and 2 interceptions, but that was because they were catching up hell of a lot. They couldn't really run the ball, and Dallas. One thing about the Packers is Matt LaFleur comes to fucking coach. He comes to play. He knows, and his coaching staff know how to attack teams. They knew how to attack Dallas in the zone, and they exploited them big time. And then they were rushing the same thing, four, five guys, something like, man, that Green Bay, like, this is the, remember, this is the youngest team in the playoffs ever, the youngest team in the NFL. And Jordan Love, 3 TDs, 16 for 21, beautiful passer rating, QBR, has had the best QBR, I believe, since like week 12, or has been one of the best QBs. Aaron Jones, what else can you say? Absolute stud. And it sucks that I'm talking about them like if I'm a fan, because I hate the Packers. I'm a Bears fan. 21 carries, 118 yards. Romeo Dobbs for 6 catches and 151 yards, and then 3 yards, 52, 3 receptions, 52 yards, 1 touchdown for Musgrave. As a Bears fan, you gonna tell me that there's an actual possibility that there's gonna be a Detroit and Green Bay NFC championship? Talk about a smack in the face to a Bears fan. That you're gonna have the two teams in your division, one that's the youngest team, and the other team ain't going nowhere in Detroit, and you gonna have them probably playing the NFC championship. Let that sink in. And let that show you once again, for Bears fans, that you can rebuild and compete for championships at the same time. That's an absolute shitty thing to know. But, yep, it looks like that can be an actual possibility. It's going to be a tall challenge for Green Bay to go to play the 49ers at San Francisco. But, man, like I said, Matt LaFleur comes to hoop, but he's bad against the 49ers. He's never beaten them in the playoffs yet, so we'll have to see. But as far as the Detroit, because we're going to have the Eagles play the Buccaneers later, I believe there's no Brown for the Eagles. There's so many injuries for the Eagles. The Eagles were like crumbling to get to the playoffs. I still am going to take the Eagles over the Buccaneers. I just think they are not that bad, and the Buccaneers are good, but not Eagle good. Even though the Eagles limped their way to the to the playoffs. So either way, I expect Detroit to whip the ass of either of those teams, because it's at Detroit. So I don't think it really cares who they play. But man, like, what a ass whipping, and what a hell of a game too that Detroit LA game is, because they won by 1 point. They were up like 21-10 by the half or something, or 20. It was 21-17 by the half. Matthew Stafford makes his return, look flawless, 25 for 36, 367 yards, 2 TDs. Running game was okay. Puka nuka hookah fuka fuka puka puka puka. 9 receptions, 181 yards, 1 touchdown. Absolute stud. Cooper Kupp didn't really do much. Demarcus Robinson, 3 receptions, 44 yards. Kudos. It was a good game to the Matthew Stafford homecoming for the Rams, but they came up short because Detroit is that team. This can be Detroit's year. Their biggest challenge, like I said, would be the 49ers, because I expect them to beat the Bucs or the Eagles, like I just said. And then Jared Goff just slapped them in the face, said, "Hey man, you traded me? F you guys. Bounce out the playoffs. I bounced you guys out." 22 for 27, 277 yards. Perfect passer rating, pretty much. 1 TD. And then we got 14 carries, 57 yards, 1 TD for David Montgomery. Miss him as a Bear. Wish he was re-signed. And then Gibbs, 8 carries, 25 yards, a TD. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 7 receptions, 110. Josh Reynolds, 5 receptions, 80. Gibbs, 4 receptions, 43 yards. 1 fumble loss for Jared Goff. Like I said, man, Detroit and Green Bay, please don't let it be an NFC championship. They give real fields for sure if that's the case. We're going to get Mike Ditka back. Mike Singletary going to come back and play for the Bears if that's the case, man. That's embarrassing. Can't have that. But it might happen. But, yeah, so I expect today's easy. I expect the Bills to whip that ass. There's nothing. I mean, come on. Mason Rudolph is not taking you to the promised land. It's just not. I respect the Pittsburgh for always being winners, but Buffalo take care of that, and they will. And like I said, Philly, this Tampa Philly gonna be a good game. But Philly, you guys were in the Super Bowl last year, so take care of business too. Other than that, let me know what you guys think, and I'll catch you guys later.